Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here, and today we have a 3-knife review for you. We have the Jared Kramer EDC Fiend, the Michael Morris file knife, and a prototype by Justin Godbey. So stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I know it has been a hot minute since I have uploaded a video, but we've been really busy here at the Adventure Camping household. But rest assured, we are back at it, and so we'll get started with the Jared Kramer EDC Fiend. I'll let you get a look at his little logo mark right there. Give you the specs of the knife. It is made from a 1084 high carbon steel. It weighs 1.8 ounces without the sheath, but 2.8 with the sheath, so weight is really good for its intended use. It's 5.6 inches overall with a 2 1/4 inch blade. Now, as you can see here, you got holes drilled out to lighten it up. It is about an 1/8 of an inch thick, and I got to tell you what, it takes a fantastic edge. Maybe you can see a little bit of my mirror polish right there, and it is fairly easy to sharpen. Edge retention is good for this type of steel, and the sheath that it comes with. Oops, and you need to put it in the right way. Hard to tell when you're on camera sometimes. You got a nice little drain hole here. You got grommets all around so that you could use this to either carry as a neck knife like I did, or you could use it to attach it to a pack. So multiple carry options, which is all to the good. Sheath retention, oops, is pretty tight. And some people are going to prefer that when it comes to a neck knife. So you get a perfect little thumb wrap here to push out. If I had this more, I would probably just work with it more to work on it. But if it's hanging around your neck and you just yank down, it actually comes out pretty easily. Or if you're going to attach it to a pack or keep it in your pocket, you could do that. Now, if I was going to hold this, the only criticism I have is if I owned this, I would probably wrap this in paracord just to make it a little more comfortable. But it does fit in hand really, really well. So as you can see here, how much room you got. It's just thin, so that's going to dig into your hand a little bit if you don't have gloves. That's the only reason. But other than that, I mean, all your light duty tasks, this is going to be absolutely excellent for. Like I said, either it could be a backup knife, food prep knife, carving knife. I've definitely done that along with camp because I took it on multiple camping trips. And so for starting fires and, taking care of your kindling to get fire started, nothing large, obviously, because it is a small knife. But I got to say, guys, that the weight is great on this. In the perfect ballpark for what I would want a neck knife for. And I have absolutely loved it. You're going to love one too, I promise you. All right, now this is the file knife from Michael Morris. As you can see here, let me get you a little good look at it. There's engraving on it. Got the lightning holes in the handle as well. Now go ahead and run over the specs on this one. It is made from a file, so that's why it's called a file knife. So you're going to have a good tool still here that is about 3/16 of an inch thick. 5.5 inches overall with about a 2-inch blade. The weight on it is 1.8 ounces without the sheath and 2.4 with. And I'll tell you this right now, I mean, this is a crazy cool little knife. I called it I've just kind of nicknamed it for myself, a pocket scalpel. Because to me, it resembles a scalpel very well. And this one, not really used at all because, and I'll tell you why. You got a good little finger choil here. Because the way I look at this one, you could use it for a couple of different things. Last ditch knife, right? So back up to your primary knife or any kind of emergency situation. Or you could also use this in a medical kit. Because this is my philosophy, and I know a lot of people have it too. But if you're going to use a knife for self-defense, I tell people all the time, never ever use it. That way you can guarantee that you're going to have the proper edge on your knife when you need it. And so since this one is so small, I mean, you can really get in there, do some fine detail work. Obviously, get a hold of it and pokey, right? You also have a lanyard hole here too, so if you wanted just to carry it in a different way, that is perfectly doable. Oops. And it's hard to get these things when you're on camera, right? Reaching around it, sorry. All right, so you got your grommet holes here, so obviously you could carry it as a neck knife. You could lash it to a pack if you wanted to. It also kind of, just like I was saying, you could pop this right in a med kit without the lanyard on it, so that way you could have a good, reliable scalpel in your med kit if you needed to use one. This is just, I really like the looks of it. It's really cool. I mean, it's a tool still, so the coating on it is going to help prevent it from rusting. But of course, if you're going to carry it as a neck knife, just keep an eye on it to make sure, because you definitely don't want it to rust on you, because that's always bad for steel. But just, I mean, this has just been a super cool knife. Really enjoyed it. Now, on to number 3. And this one, I really got to put some time in on. I know I got a video on it on Instagram, but this is the prototype from Justin Godbey. This is made of a 52-100. It is, let's see, 4.7 inches overall with a 2.5-inch cutting edge. Weighs 3.35 ounces just by itself and 4.7 with the sheath, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this and why I love it. But this one is an amazing little carver. You'll have to check out my little video of it on Instagram. But the handle material is extremely comfortable. The shape of it, the contour, right? It's fairly close to the broomstick style handle, which is about my favorite because I just find it to be personally the most comfortable. But I'll tell you what, this is my first experience with this kind of steel, and the edge retention, I have to say, is excellent. And easy to get an edge on. So always a bonus anytime that you're using knives in the outdoors is having a knife that's easy to get an edge on. And this one is an 1/8 of an inch thick as well. And I love knives that you can tell have been forged like that and they still have the carbon on it and all that. To me, just gives it that really cool rustic look that, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of almost feels like you're using an antique even though you're not. But man, this has been really nice to use because this one you can really bear down on. And of course, you know, this is just going to be carving, food prep, fire starting, getting your kindling ready, feather sticking, all that kind of stuff. I was going to do all these outside today. And of course, when I started to film, there began a birthday party in my neighbor's backyard. So I go to the front yard and the neighbors start leaf blowing. So here we are. All right, guys. So just going to say there's all 3 of these. Oh, I forgot the sheath on this one. The sheath is super cool. All right. So you got leather, which the stitching is done really well. Nice little belt loop here. I have an 1.5 inch belt that I wear and it fit on that just perfect. But here's what I really love. Kydex insert. This is super cool because I always love leather sheaths, but depending on how they are designed, it's typically pretty easy for a knife to fall out. But this one, as you can hear, just snaps into place, rides right on your belt. So you, I mean, you could probably put a loop on it, do a little more of a dangler or something like that. But just as the way it comes, very impressed. And this is the first time I've ever used a leather sheath with a Kydex insert. And I got to say, oh man, if I would carry a lot more leather sheaths if more people did that. It just has really impressed me. I'm sure there has to be a really good challenge of getting the leather to stick to Kydex and be consistent. But if you can get it to work, it's outstanding. And this guy did it, and he did it really well. Like I said, I got a lot of use out of this one, and it was really nice to use. Really a joy. Not that I didn't like this one. I love neck knives. I wear neck knives a lot. It's just I don't use them as much because it's a neck knife. But this one, I mean, it fits the hand extremely well. It's got that nice little finger choil right here. And of course, as you can see here, the sharpening choil, so you can get in there fairly easily and maintain your edges. But guys, first off, or to end this or start to sum it up, I got to say thank you to Eugene Honrath of SOS No Problem and Shadow Warriors. Thank you, Eugene, for letting me borrow these. I apologize for keeping this for so long. I will get these out back to you soon. But man, having the chance to experience different makers is huge for me, and I really appreciate it. Jared Kramer, I've been watching him for a long time on Instagram, and I've been very curious about his work. The pictures all look outstanding, so of course I definitely wanted to get one in hand. So thank you, Eugene, for allowing that to happen. And this definitely out of 3, my favorite. I mean, but only because I can use it in more situations. And then this is just, I just got to keep saying it. Since to me, I'm calling it the little pocket scalpel. This thing is just amazing. But you would almost say it's like one of the most amazing knives you'll never use. Simply because, you know, in my opinion, if you're using it as a self-defense, or of course if you wanted to put it in a med kit for medical purposes, then you would never want to use it because you want to make sure that edge is razor sharp. But all 3 knives, highly recommended. I will leave links to where you can get these down below. These 2 you will be able to get through SOS No Problem. So just hit up Eugene or SOS No Problem and you can work that out. And I will put a link into where you can get this one. Alright guys, hopefully this will help you follow Shadow Warriors SOS No Problem and check out 3 really cool makers that I think you will really enjoy their work. Alright guys, in the meantime, be prepared, have fun.